A couple of thoughts first. Very difficult series. Game one, what happened in game one was very fluky, and it put us in position to lead the series at the beginning. That was a real key to it. And this group has been special, pulling off some very special things, and so we don't take it for granted at all. The Knicks were an unreal opponent. Tough-minded, always coming at you. After the game, they showed great class with all the interactions that I had with all those guys. I mentioned the job that Tibbs has done there. He's turned the culture completely, flipped from what it was, and so to be able to win the series the way we did today at home in front of our fans is huge. You never want to go back on the road in Game 7. And so, we're grateful. We're grateful for a lot of things. Today, our guys just decided that it was going to be our kind of game. It was going to be a fast game. And we kept speed in the game, and they kept coming. And, we get up 15, and then all of a sudden there's a turnover, a turned ankle, and then it's 9, and it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But two resilient teams, and we were able to be resilient once again tonight. So once again, very, very grateful. Congratulations to Pascal. So deserving. Guy's been a rock of consistency all year. And a lot of guys contributed to this game. Thomas Bryant, you talk about a guy that has a great spirit and stays ready. I mean, his threes and his block shots and his rebounds and his running, it was all pivotal stuff. So anyway, questions?
Rick, how did you find yourself feeling or find the balance of emotions when the final buzzer sounds between this being a big deal accomplishment, happiness, and knowing you guys still have a final series ahead of you?
Well, this is the 6th time that I've been to an NBA Finals, 3 as a player, 1 as an assistant coach, 2nd time as a head coach. This is no time to be popping champagne. And when you get to this point of the season, it's 2 teams and it's one goal. And so it becomes an all or nothing thing. And we understand the magnitude of the opponent. Oklahoma City has been dominant all year long, with capital letters in the word dominant. Defensively, they're historically great, and they got all kinds of guys that can score. It's 2 teams that have similar structures, slightly different styles, but Oklahoma's playing faster this year, and so I think it has the makings of a great series. To me, it's from a coaching perspective, it's 2 teams that are fun to watch and fun to watch compete. So, we're looking forward to the challenge, and they have the MVP, and so that's always an important thing.
You just talked about keeping speed and pace in the game. Obviously, the big way you did that is creating a bunch of turnovers. I think 18, and you turned those into 34. I guess, just considering the total arc of this rebuilding project, what all you had to do to get the defense to be where it is. I guess how sort of, I don't know if it's rewarding or what even to say about it, but it's the defense that drives the train in this one and puts you guys in position to play the game the way you want to play.
Yeah, I mean, we just can't celebrate too much. It's, you ask a question like we've accomplished something, and getting to the NBA Finals is an accomplishment. But if you start looking at it that way, you'll go into it with the wrong mindset. Our defense is something we've been working on steadfastly for over a year and a half. I mean, really. The year started last year with really a different set of rules. We were playing small and even faster. It wasn't a team that had great defenders, but we've gotten better defenders. We've gotten bigger. We got Pascal, and the guys co-signed on the importance of defense, and everybody has participated in the growth. And Oklahoma will present some very tough challenges defensively for us.
Drew had 6 of those steals. It seems like he flipped him over Brunson pretty early. What made you decide to go with that matchup, or just what you got from him all around today, but especially as far as creating turnovers?
Yeah, I just had a strong belief that he was going to have a big game today or tonight. It feels like a day. I don't know why, but it's almost midnight. And the other thing is getting him on Brunson created a natural cross match to keep OG off of him. And OG is, he's like the silent killer on their team. I mean, he's very hard to score on. He's a guy that doesn't get enough credit as a scorer. And, after timeouts, they were going to him almost every time. He's scoring almost every time. And defensively, he's a beast. And so, Drew really took the challenge. Aaron had fouls really from the beginning of the game. And when he got his first, it made the switch a naturally easy decision.
What do you know about Jarris Walker at this point? I just saw him on crutches.
It's an ankle. He's on crutches. So, we'll see. He's young. That's good. And I did not see a replay of the play, so I don't know how far it turned over, how much weight. But when a guy goes down and stays down like that, you're always holding your breath.
Hey, Rick. Been around you guys now since the start of the Cleveland series, and I don't recall you addressing this. But you guys were 10-15 in December, and now you're here. And I know you don't want to talk about this as an accomplishment yet because you have more work to do. But when did you start to realize that this was possible?
Well, we were 10-15, and Nembhard missed 15 games, and we were 5-10 in those games. And so you saw the impact of Nembhard tonight. And so we didn't have Nembhard. We didn't have Neesmith. We lost Shepard for a good stretch there. And there were some games where we were starting two-way players. Quentin Jackson got some starts, actually played very well for us. Enrique Freeman started one or two games. Johnny Furphy was in the rotation, and Furphy's going to be a good rotation player for the Pacers. But these guys are very young, and so we're a team that is an ecosystem. We're very dependent on the collective ingredients for the whole team to function at its best. And when we're without guys that don't appear to be stars, but they're important in support roles for the stars, then you struggle. And then we had a beast schedule because of that Paris trip. We had all the tough games early. Excuse me. We had compressed schedule, and it was a confluence of difficult forces. Is there a water, Mike? Water? What else?
Yeah, Rick, when you look at what Thomas Bryant did tonight, does that sort of typify? I mean, he came in because Bradley was hurt, I assume. But does that sort of typify what this team has become about?
It does. And look, Thomas has an indomitable spirit as a person and a player. Even when he's not in the rotation, he's over there in a defensive stance on the sidelines. He is into it. And he is ready. He is ready. And, he's had a flair. He's had a flair for these moments. He had a big game in Game 5 of the Cleveland series at Cleveland. He had a steal for a dunk. He had a putback. He made a big three in the corner. The threes that he made today were enormously important and very timely. And so staying ready. Jarris Walker, staying ready. I mean, he was one of the bright spots of the Game 5 debacle. He went in there. He was actually a plus in the game and hit a couple shots and did good things. And so, look, we played, 11 or 12 guys. And, Bradley was available, but was unable to really extend and run full court, full speed. And so it just seemed to me that it just didn't make sense. And so, Thomas got right in there, got a block, and made some good things happen, hit some free throws, and, he was key.
What do you remember about some of the conversations in 21 when you guys embarked on this rebuild? And how surprised are you that it's come so fast?
Well, if you have the right player to build around, it can happen much faster than you think. And so getting Tyrese made it very clear what our identity as a team needed to be. We needed to be a fast-paced team with shooting. And we had some good shooting at the time, but, when we did the Brogdon trade, that brought Neesmith on board. Nemhard was a developing player. Matherin shoots the ball well. Walker shoots the ball well. And Shepard is a guy that is a great runner and a great shooter. And then look, the Siakam trade took things to another level. And it took Pascal, a couple of weeks to get integrated because, they weren't playing this fast in Toronto. But he did, and he got integrated while Tyrese was coming back from the hamstring last year. And, there were some clunky moments. And we were on the West Coast at the time. And so, but, we got it together down the stretch, and we won our last game of the season to avoid the play-in. And we're able to go on a run, and, certainly we were aided by the fact that there were some missing players with other teams, but you still got to win the games. You still got to go into Madison Square Garden and win Game 7, and on the road. And those guys did that, and we had a humbling experience against Boston, but we learned some things, and those things have helped us this year.
Ty, can you kind of take us through your emotions just as that final buzzer sounds and the ceremony's about to start?
It's a special feeling to do it with this group. We got to the same spot last year, fell short, and man, we just worked our tails off as a group to get back here. It's been a bumpy road with our start, and man, just really proud of the resilience of this group. We had so many different guys chip in. We've been through so many things this year, and we just kept pushing. And like I said, I'm just really proud of this group.
I saw you and Pascal's long embrace down there. What was that like for you two?
Yeah, it's special, man. Obviously, when we brought him here, we envisioned, doing something like this, doing something special, and it's just really special that he's been here. He's been like a big brother for me, somebody that I can really trust, somebody that I can really lean on to talk to, and just somebody who can always keep me steady. And this is an exciting time. But we understand that there's a long road ahead, a lot more work to do. But yeah, it's really special, to do this. And we just talked about, man, this is what we got together to do, to do something special. And we're part of it right now. We're doing something special. And like I said, we got 4 more to go.
Ty, when you were traded here, Kevin Pritchard came out before your first game and said this is like us landing our Andrew Luck or our Peyton Manning. To have this team now in the NBA Finals, what does it mean to go from that to this?
Yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot. This is a franchise that took a chance on me, saw something that other people didn't see in me. Sometimes I think they saw more in me than I saw in myself, and Coach Carlisle, the whole staff, KP, Chad, all those guys just stay on me all the time, to keep getting better, to keep improving, to keep pushing. And, man, I wouldn't be here without those guys. So appreciate them taking a chance on me. I love being a Pacer. It's there's nothing like it. And this is a really, really special feeling for me. I'll take the time to reflect on it, later because, still a lot more work to do. But, this is really exciting.
Ty, I know you live in the moment and look ahead, but history's important too. And to do it almost 25 years to the day than the last time, same team, Reggie, Jalen in the building and on the home court, how much special, even more special, does that make it?
Yeah, obviously Reggie in the building, it is a really special thing. When it happened 25 years ago, I was not even 6 months old. I think this is a really special time for our organization, special time for our fans. There's a lot of fans who, have never seen the success from this organization, especially people around my age, they weren't alive for it. So, it's really special what we're doing, and we're just trying to keep making this a special place, a place where people want to, come and people want to watch and want to be a part of. And, this is a really, really special group, and I'm really thankful that I'm doing it with these guys. I'm thankful that our front office believed in this group to keep us together, to not do a crazy roster turnover, to keep this group together and, see something in ourselves that maybe, quote-unquote, experts didn't see. So yeah, it's really special. But we understand we got a long road ahead. But yeah, like I said, it's just a special feeling.
In tonight's game, Obi Toppin off the bench and I had 3 blocks, 18 points. What'd you think of his play and how impactful were those big plays that he had?
He had 3 blocks. Wow. Yeah, trying to get like me. We always mess with him because he's got all that athleticism, but just doesn't use it on the defensive end sometimes. But Obi was big for us off the bench. Obviously this series playing against his team is probably a little bit more juice for him, considering this is where he came from. But man, he was special tonight. Just did all the little things that we need him to do. Made play after play, especially down the stretch, cutting, rolling. That's why we brought him here. So really special. And we understand we've preached depth this whole year. We keep talking about it, and it's not just a word we use, for fun. This is our identity, and this is who we are. And so I thought we did a great job of utilizing that. We had many different people step up. I thought Jarris Walker was amazing. The guy like that who, his minutes have come here and there in this series. He hasn't really seen a ton of playing time. And he came and was prepared to go. And I thought he had big-time minutes. And Thomas Bryant, he's had a couple games where a couple DNPs, came prepared and made some big-time shots and big-time plays. So that's just what's important to us. We've been preaching, how special we are as a group and how much depth matters, and we're showing it. So, like I said, man, it's just really special.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse with Pacers fans celebrating this moment and a moment in history for Pacers.
Yeah, I think as a group, we really did want to get it done in the Garden last game, but I thought we just didn't come out and play the right way. But I looked at it as kind of like delayed gratification, You look at it and understand we didn't come to play in Game 5. I don't know where Doyle is, but, we just didn't play hard enough, and that happens. I know that was a question, but we just didn't play hard enough. And I thought we did a great job responding. I thought we did a great job of controlling the margins and winning that battle. So like I said, I'm just really proud of of this group, and it is special to do it in front of our fans, in front of our family, and enjoy it with them. And yeah, it's definitely probably be a core memory in our lives. But I think there's a lot more work to do, and let's just keep creating memories.
Kind of on that note, 10 steals, 18 turnovers, 34 points off turnovers. Just how important was defense tonight? I guess what does it say, I guess, for just the progress you guys have made over the course of really the last year and a half to get to this point, and it's defense to kind of get you in there in the NBA Finals?
Yeah, I just think the buy-in from our whole group has been huge. Last year, all that was being said was we couldn't win because we don't guard anybody. And all we try to do is outscore people. And I think we've taken such a big step on the defensive end as a group. I think Andrew, Aaron, and Myles kind of lead that, and me and Pete are trying to follow their lead and get it going on that side of the ball. And then our bench guys just come in and bring more energy. So, I think the step we've made on that side of the floor is why we're here. And, we got our work cut out for us, playing against MVP, playing against one of the best offenses in the league, the best team in the league. So we got to be prepared next series. But I think our buy-in as a group has been huge, and I'm just really proud of our group.
Yeah, Ty, I wanted to ask, in the whirlwind of your first finals celebration, do you think at all about the Thunder, or are you too much now oh my God, we made the finals?
Yeah, I think human nature, when you see them win, it's easy to watch them win and be like, okay, so we're going to play next. We just got to win one more game. And I think that's the human nature part of it. But I think we talked as a group about just being as present as possible, because this game very well could have went a different way. And then, all the pressure would be on us to go win there in Game 7. So just trying to be as present as possible as a group. And I think there was never a conversation about, we play OKC next, and what is it going to look like, and blah, blah, blah. There was never that conversation, but I think human nature is going to creep in. You're going to think about it. But I thought we did a great job of living in the moment today, making the plays we needed to today. And, I'd be lying if I told you right now my head's not thinking about what's next and, how we're going to attack these guys and, compete against these guys and what we're getting into. But I just trying to be as present as possible, because, like I said, this is going to be something that I remember, for the rest of my life. And so I want to be as present as I can, and I will. But of course, I'm thinking about what's next, because we got we got our work cut out for us.
I want to think about kind of what came before really quick. Just, considering the rough start you guys had, you're under 500 in January even. Just what did it take for this group to make a run to the finals?
I think many things. I think honesty with each other, having to look at ourselves in the mirror and see where we had to make our biggest change. Commitment to one another to do that. We had, two guys go down, both our backup bigs go down early in the year with torn Achilles. Double A and Drew go through some early season injuries. We're, starting different guys. Many different guys are playing. I thought we just did a great job of staying together as a group and not worrying about outside noise. Internally, we had expectations to be here, and this isn't a surprise to any of us because of what we wanted to do. And I think, obviously there's a turning point there in December or January or whatever the case may be. But I just thought we did a great job of, like I mentioned earlier, just being as present as possible, not living in the past, not worrying about what's next, just worrying about what's now. And I thought we did a great job of that as a group. And, I think we all went through different things this year. Obviously, me personally, I had my struggles. Many guys had their struggles. But I think as a group, we just leaned on each other. And that's the most special part about this group. These guys in the locker room are, going to be my brothers for life, and, what they've done for me, I can't even, really put into words because, where I was earlier in the year was really, really tough for me. And, I'm just really appreciative of those guys, appreciative of this moment and the fans and everybody sticking with me and my family and my loved ones. And, I think there's a lot that went into it, and it's hard to really put into words like in this moment. But yeah, it's a special time to be a part of this group. It's a special time to be a Pacer fan and to be a part of this organization. And we just have great people in that locker room, from our players to our coaches to our support staff to our ball boys to everybody, to everybody that is a part of this. So, it's a really special feeling. And I could ramble and ramble and ramble, and I probably am right now. But I just think I can't put into words how special this group is and how much this means to us. So, like I said, we're gonna enjoy it for the night, and then as a group come together and get ready for what's in front of us. Because what's in front of us is the first of four, and we understand we got a big challenge in front of us, a great team, and we're gonna be prepared, and we're gonna be ready. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Myles, your Pacers career has been such a roller coaster. What were you thinking about as the final buzzer goes off in that moment?
Man, I was just so, first of all, just thankful to Jehovah God, man. He just, I just never stopped believing, honestly. He's opened up so many doors for me, and never stopped believing in my team either, bro. I just think that at the end of the game, to answer your question, when the buzzer was sounding, just nothing but joy, man. Just pure excitement, just pure validation. Just all the years, all the hate, all the love, everything in between, bro. It just made so much sense in that moment. So I was just, man, just to be honest with you, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just pure, exuberance and joy.
Tyrese gets traded here. You sign an extension less than a year later. When did you know that this group had this level?
We were in Nashville, I think it was 2 years ago, just playing pickup and just seeing everybody's ability, man. 'Cause, summer ball is so much different than obviously NBA hoops and whatnot. But just seeing the dedication, bro. Like first of all, everybody showed up. That was the biggest thing. To get everybody on one page in the off season is so tough. But everybody showed up, and then one thing I've always done, bro. I always come in on off days. I've been doing that since my second, third year. Like I'll come in on an off day to get some shots or work on my body. When I tell you, like all our young guys, like from 2 years on, all the guys just got traded. Were in there every single time. Like that was a first for me, and that's kind of when I knew, to say that just the work that we put in.
I think just during the celebration, I think I saw you embrace with Reggie and then talk with Nancy Leonard afterwards. I'm sure there's probably more of those in between, basically. But what did you? I guess who all did you get to talk to? What were the brief conversations you got to have with people that have been pillars of this organization, and what was that like to add to the emotion that's already there?
I talked to so many people, man. I talked to everybody from the training staff down, from the Simon family, from Nancy Leonard to Reggie to, just our massage therapists, like, or people in the media. Like, it's just, I just wanted to just just embrace everybody, bro. Because again, it's so rare that you're in an organization where it's so consistent. You know, the trainers are the same, strength coach is the same. Front office is the same. That doesn't happen very often. So they've all been a part of this journey as well. So I just want to make sure I just embrace everybody that was there with me.
I think Tom made a point of saying that just being thankful for keeping this group together. Of obviously had to rebuild the roster, but over the past sort of 2 years, there hasn't been as dramatic of changes. It's just sticking with this group, I guess. How important has that been, just the cohesion that you guys have stayed sort of steady that way?
I think it's a new blueprint for the league, man. I just I think the years of the super teams and stacking is just not. It's not as effective as it once was. You know what I mean? This NBA, since I've been in the league, this NBA is very trendy. It just shifts. But the new trend now is just kind of what we're doing. OKC does the same thing. Young guys get out and run, defend, and use the power of friendship is how they call it.
The trade you guys made for Pascal last year, just what kind of impact has that had, obviously on the court, but just for you guys' locker room as a team overall?
You brought in a champion, man. You brought in someone that's been there before, and not just a fluke championship. Someone who he had to work his way up. He's a G League champion, G League Finals MVP, and then obviously the All Stars, and someone who's also seen like the highs and lows. And to have that championship experience, for me myself, last year, of course, was my first time out the first round. There's only so much I can tell guys. When you have someone who's actually been in them trenches, who's actually felt what it feels like. So underrated, just the emotions this time of the year. You know what I mean? You don't sleep. You don't. You lose hair. Like it's just what it is, man. If you can't explain that if you've never been here before, and just these past 2 years, again, all worth it. It's very validating on this stage, but it's definitely just takes a toll on you.
Myles, can you speak to the impact that Thomas Bryant had?
Oh, man.
And is that sort of symbolize what this team is about? That the guy comes in off the bench, hasn't played, and balls out.
Of course, man. I mean, him, Tony Bradley, the same way. Someone who we picked him up right at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Someone who'd been on 6, 7 NBA teams and was trying to find his way, and he carved his niche out perfectly. But yeah, someone like Thomas, man, I've been playing against Thomas since high school. Man, he's always had that enthusiasm, that energy, and that skill. And he was able to put himself on display tonight. He stayed ready. He didn't complain. He didn't pout. If you watch any film, bro, he's the first one up on the bench, first one just gassing us up, talking to us and getting us right. And, me going down to foul trouble, he got his opportunity tonight, and, he didn't look back. I'm sure it's very validating for him, going to IU of all places and, going to the NBA Finals in front of that crowd.
You guys had 7 in double figures. Siakam had 3 blocks. Drew had 6 assists or 6 steals. Kind of talk to me about just, you guys had everyone doing everything. How did this kind of win? How does it define what this team is all about?
Yeah, that's how we orchestrated this team. It's it's not the flashiest, sexiest team. We get results. And I think that's what you're able to see just throughout this playoff series. And throughout honestly the playoffs in general. So yeah, you may look up and guy only has 5 or 6 points, but there's so much insurmountable stuff that they're doing that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. You know what I'm saying? It's just a guy like Drew. I mean, you can't replace that type of effort. Aaron Nesmith, man, he's playing through a hurt ankle. You know what I mean? We're all playing through something, but you saw what he did, and he was able to come back and make an impact. So it just speaks to the heart of this group, man. You never know whose night it's going to be. It's 1 through 15, and again, it's just what makes it special.
Myles over here. Like an hour before Tyrese's debut for the Pacers, Kevin Pritchard met with the media, and he compared getting Tyrese in that trade to, hey, we think we got our Andrew Luck or our Peyton Manning before he played a game here.
Yeah.
How do you think he's responded to that sort of pressure, expectations, and obviously leading you all to the NBA Finals?
Yeah, man, I'm so proud of Tyrese, bro. For real, man. Y'all seen, when it comes to being a superstar, bro, you got to take everything that comes with it, the highs and the lows, the good and the bad. And, from how the season started, to how he was getting trashed and everybody was basically trying to turn their heads to him. And he just kept his head down and kept working, man. I think that, even going to this playoffs, the whole overrated thing. I mean, obviously, we know that's dead now. He just can't. There's not much you can say now about that. But I'm just proud of the way he's handled everything. It's just, it's a lot of pressure. Being that main guy. People don't think about the off the court stuff. That you have to handle as well. Being the man, and just, I think he's done a great job. It's all happened so fast for him, but he's done a great job of just composing himself and showing up when it matters the most. So yeah, when you want to say the Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning of the city, it makes sense. He's the head of the snake.
Pascal, when you were about to be traded last year, how much of you hoped it would be 2 here and for the reasons that this has now become?
Yeah, it was
yeah, it was a tough moment. I think obviously, being in Toronto, I grew up there. I came there as a little kid, and it was a huge part of who I was as a person, or who I am as a person, and being having to leave that place, was hard, and I think from the first time I had a conversation with Chad, KP, coach, this was the goal, and I think that just how amazing they've been, throughout the whole process, just supporting me. Not that I needed it, but words of affirmation, like just being there for me, and just so much support from the organization, the fans, and I can never take it for granted. I'll never do that, and so it's amazing, it's rewarding to be able to be in this position, and it's like what, a full year? I mean, half, whatever you want to call it, but to be able to get to this level and having the opportunity to play, for an NBA championship, like that's amazing.
How long after you got here did it take you to identify that you guys had this level in you?
No, I think obviously just that run we had last year, just to see the way they play the game, and that's one of the things that I was super excited about, coming here. Just the pace, it just fits who I am as a person, like the way I play the game. We have a lot of people that people look down on, and just a lot of underdogs, and that's my style, Like I like that because that's been me my whole life. So I knew we had something special. Obviously, Tyrese, elevate our game, put us in position to be successful. Or just the way he plays, unselfish, and just the guys that we have in the locker room, man. And it's been a great journey so far, and we had a lot more work to do. Looking at some of those games and just knowing how better we can get. That's the most exciting part.
You guys obviously caused 18 turnovers today, 10 steals, 34 points off turnovers. What's just considering where this team was defensively, how far it had to come, how rewarding is it that basically defense is what gets you going in this game?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, from the time I got here, that was a big part of it. We wanted to improve our defense, and we have dogs. We got guys that can guard. Drew, it was incredible tonight, man. Just seeing how hard he worked, pressuring like a all-NBA, all-star, all night, just in his face. And that's not even the first time he's done that. This guy does that every other night. It's crazy. Double A, I think we have me. I'm out there trying to, do my best. But we just have a lot of guys that committed to that defense identity and knowing that the things that's going to take us to the next level is that, we can score. We know we can score. We're going to make some shots. We're going to miss some shots some days. It is what it is. But as long as we are committed to getting stops, and I think that's what's going to take us to another level.
You were just talking about how this team plays and its style and everything. When did you get a sense of just how connected this group was, as far as personally, and what did that tell you about what it could be? Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's one of the reasons, coming into the summer, I invited everyone to my house. We got to hang out, and every single person on the team is just amazing person. He's just a bunch of good guys. And when you have that, and everyone is committed to the work, and there's no selfishness, and it's all about winning, that's what you want to have. And so I think just for me seeing that, I knew that, outside of the talent that we have, I just know that how connected we are. And another thing, we're just resilient. We won't stop. We won't stop. And when, there's bad games and whatever the case might be, we're still gonna be here. We're gonna wake up every single day, head up, and we're gonna go to work. And that's what you want from a team, and that's why I always ride for these guys.
Pascal, as somebody who has been in this situation before, getting to the finals, what's the balance between sort of enjoying tonight versus looking ahead for the next series?
I think you enjoy tonight, and then after that we gotta look forward. we got a team out there that's waiting for us. That's serious, and they're the best team in the NBA. So I think that, that's the challenge. And I was telling the guys, for me, I got there when I was in year 3, and I thought I would get back there a lot. And it didn't happen. So it's a hell of an opportunity, and you don't know when you're going to get it again. So I think we have to, have a mindset of going out there and at the end of the day, like just giving everything that we got and knowing that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
And then just what did it mean to you to win the conference finals MVP trophy?
Right. No, it was cool. I mean, I think I didn't know they had a trophy for that, but I'm excited. I mean, I'm happy. I'm blessed, man. It's been a crazy journey, a lot of ups and downs, and you know, I know, you know, I'm not the, you know, the guy that everyone's going to talk about a lot and all that stuff, and I really don't care about it. You know, I'm just a young kid from Cameroon that's, you know, moved to the U.S. when he was 18 years old and gave everything to the game of basketball. Like, and I just work every single day. I don't cheat the work. Like, no matter good games, bad games, I'm in the gym. I care about the game of basketball, and I want to be as great as I can. And to me, that's all that matters, man. Like, all the other stuff don't really matter. And yeah, like, it's cool. It's pretty cool though. But the work continues.
Pascal, when you guys were 10 and 15, and then even still under 500 in January, how hard was it at the time to stick to what you were doing? And I guess when did you really start to realize, like, oh, we're actually very good?
Yeah. No, I think obviously we started the year, you know, a little shaky, but you know, we had a lot of injuries. We had guys that, you know, that was in and out of lineup, and it was tough just trying to, you know, figure out a rhythm of who we wanted to be as a team, you know, continuing from the success that we had the year before. And I just love the fact that, you know, everyone just stayed to the grind, and we just kept working and you know, trusting the process. And the coaches did an amazing job, you know, preparing us for games, and you know, we just started to slowly just build an identity. And you know, once we put defense into, you know, who we were, you know, as a team, I think it just took us slowly into another level. And again, like the fact that we connected and all together, like that's what makes it special. And like I said, we don't quit.
Pascal, Thomas played obviously off the bench pretty well tonight. You mentioned not cheating the grind. How much does he not cheat the grind, especially when he doesn't know what his minutes might look like night to night?
Yeah, no, he was big, man. It's not easy. Like you in there, you in the lineup, and then, you know, all of a sudden you're not in the lineup anymore, and it can be tough for a player. But I just give him credit. Like, he didn't play those games. He was cheering. Like, he was on the bench, like the first to get up every time something is happening. Like, he was encouraging everyone. And I told him that too. Like, it's like, you know, like the basketball guys gonna reward you. You know, when you play basketball the right way and you have you know, the right spirit and everything into the game. And he had his chance tonight, and man, he took advantage of it.